a former Minister of Youth and Sport, a lawyer, and a member of the opposition, Honorable Solomon Dalung, who is live for us in Jos. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. And I have with me live here in the studio, Mr. Samson Itodo, who is the Executive Director of Yaga Africa and one of the leaders of the CSO's organization who are leading the Occupy NAS protest tomorrow in Abuja. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Let me come to you quickly, Mr. Dalung. Why does this look like a suspicion? Because the Senate President has said, look, why are people jumping the gun? It's not concluded just yet. The process and the proceedings in passing a law has not been exhausted. And they have not even passed or agreed on the votes and proceedings on the deliberation that they had through the third reading.
Well, there is a legal maxim that said, name what that known from happen. You don't keep what you do not. The Senate has no reputation, and so it cannot give to Nigerians a credible election or election integrity. So the behavior of the people and the reaction to what the Senate President considered ongoing is based on the integrity of the Senate. The Senate has, this 10th Senate has established beyond reasonable doubt that it does not stand for the Nigerian people. And the understanding of democracy, representative democracy, is that the Senate are representing the people. And so, if the Senate is representing the people, they were expected to even consult the people on this very issue of the Electoral Act, widespread consultation, a very sensitive and critical component of our democracy. But you can see, as usual, and typical of the behavior, they just went on their own, even when elements that the people unwanted things to be done wrong. The Senate President, other members of the National Assembly who are bent on truncating credible elections have gone to now use certain concepts, legal concepts that will make the entire electoral process, when it comes to litigation, transfer and transmission right time through different words with different legal implications. So, and so I think people are just being vigilant that they wouldn't allow them to face a concept which we must arrange a coalition of the jobs, technical grid, and it survived the judicial process. End of the day, people did not get that. So I think this is basically what provoked this.
But in this sense, it does look like the opposition seems to be very unnerved and a bit unsettled about the process, the Senate President. That's the inference that I'm seeing from what the Senate President said yesterday, that if we have not concluded this process, it does look like the opposition is thinking that the election rigging process has begun, or the process of consolidating on the election rigging process for 2027 is now being capitalized on. Is that a feeling with you and some of your colleagues in the opposition?
In fact, with me, that is the state of that's my state of mind, and it's the feelings of most of the opposition elements and majority of Nigerians, because we do not trust this Senate. So we will not allow this Senate to conclude what they intend to do now, so that at the end of the day, we will be led with what Professor Mahmoud did after the 2023 election. I said, after the declaration of the vote, if you disagree, vote. Also, we have experience that we are armed, which is responsible for our behavior. And with due respect, the explanation of the Senate President even had founded the agitation of Nigerians, because he's now making reference to certain things that confirm how uncertain and incredible their state of mind operate. So the explanation of the Senate President has further confirmed the fact that the 10th Senate is bent on leaking this election, because his explanation neither helps but rather expose the agenda move, and this reinforced the agitation for the occupied National Assembly protest, which is being planned.
Is it some kind of jitter for those who feel maybe Bola Tinubu is evidently going to win this election? And because that's some of the feelers that it's electronic transmission or not, that those who are in the ruling APC who thinks and believes that either with that or not, they are coasting home. They've got a lot of governors on their side. Everything seems to be working well for them. And the steam seems to be more on their side against the opposition, and that the opposition is just jittery of an election, is probably at loss even before determining his own candidate. Is that a feeling that you imagine that the ruling party maybe have? Maybe they are right, is it?
Well, their behavior confirms their panicky nature about the election, because it is the person who is unsure that will begin to take steps in advantage. The opposition is certain about going around to Nigeria, sell their manifestos, convince Nigerians on the alternative they should elect in 2023. So the opposition is stable. That's why you see that they are not raising on the people. But this very issue is as a result of the panicky nature of the government. It started by going around to who governors defend them. Historically in Africa, we have not had scale of defection, but here we are experiencing it. Why effective? Especially when you were elected by the people. Some of them had no government support behind them, but they won election. And now they are decamping their own profession. They are insecure. So they are now running into safer political shelter. That's the evidence of the panicking nature. The government that is panicking and is doing everything to manipulate the process to its advantage. And if you look at the reaction of Nigerians again, it will now confirm to you that it is not only Nigerians now that are suspecting the government for trying to manipulate the election. The Labour Congress, which for some time not been active, is now already beating up to give a challenge. The civil society had never been united within a short span of time like now. This tells you how popular the resistance, the defiance by the Nigerian people against the conduct of people they sent to represent them, and they suddenly turn to
But Mr. Dalung, there are those who, and I like to get your view, knowing that you have now moved into the ADC. So the question that the APC is asking is that who is man enough, politically speaking, or who is got a political buzz, like they say, to face Bola Tinubu in 2027 in the ADC? Is it Peter Obi? Is it Atiku Abubakar? Is it Aminu Tambuwal? Is it Rufai? Is it Rotimi Amechi? Who does the ADC has that is capable of unseating Bola Tinubu or challenging him in 2027. Because as far as the APC is concerned, they think that they have coasted home, they think they are coasting home, and this election is all won and lost. That is the feeling of the APC because of the political steam they've got with all of the governors. Who do you think the ADC has to give Bola Tinubu a run for the money and the APC in 2027?
Anybody dancing on a banana peel unconsciously will only realize when he's on the ground. And that is the position of the APC. The APC has no reason to be confident of winning this election. As to the question of who does the ADC has to challenge Bola Tinubu, let me tell you to this line of thought. If people who belong to some of the political parties could move out and form the coalition, then it means they are determined. There are people who have evolved to challenge Tinubu. And of course, Tinubu is not a stranger to any of us in opposition. We know him too well, know his strategy too well. We know everything about him. People like me have been with him in the revolutionary politics of April as far back as 1993. So there is nothing new about what they will do that we do not know. But who will challenge him will be determined by the Nigerian people through the membership of the African Democratic Congress. We are going to conduct a transparent primary, and we have also resolved that whosoever wins a transparent primaries will be the person who all of us to challenge Tinubu. So challenging Tinubu is not an individual issue, it's not the issue of the candidate, it's the issue of the party. That resolution has been issued through. So I think we have so many people to challenge Tinubu. Even myself can determine to contest election and I will challenge Tinubu. So the list of those who are contesting election to challenge Tinubu is not yet over. They are still counting.
Challenging him is one thing, defeating him is another. That those who will say it's probably one of the biggest political strategies that you have around living. And after the ilks of Buhari, Sedona, Awolowo, Tinubu stands very tall as a political heavyweight and giant in the Nigerian political scene. That it will take a lot to be able to defeat him because of the hands that he has across the Niger and the weight that he pulls as a sitting president and the leader of the ruling party. The question is, who can defeat him?
Tinubu is the dwarf in Nigerian political history, and he should not be compared with great leaders like Sedona and Awolowo, because great political leaders leave legacies. They serve the people. They work for the people. If Tinubu is a great strategist, as it is being speculated, let us see this translated into action. Tinubu cannot manage insecurity. Tinubu cannot manage the economy. Tinubu cannot manage even common palliatives that were rolled out for the purpose of augmenting some of his economic policies. His strategies is seen in his performance, but not somebody who everything is failing. Even as we are talking to you, even with the coming in of the Americans, today a whole village was, yesterday was told, a whole village was wiped in Kwara. The economy is in shambles. Corruption is flourishing everywhere. So where does this strategy of the great strategies make any impact for the benefit of Nigeria? Hunger, poverty, hardship is still flourishing. We cannot be deceived. We cannot be intimidated by bogus words generated by people who promote propaganda. We want a strategy on the ground. It's in Lagos. We saw his strategy in Lagos on the ground. Where are the strategies here in Nigeria? So I think we should not be deceived. We cannot be cajoled. We cannot be intimidated. We are ready to give that dwarf who is now referred to as a giant, a fight for everything he stands.
We're totally out of time, but Mr. Dalung, just a 30 seconds final comment on this conversation. Where do we go from here?
Let me acknowledge the kind tributes from my one of my respected students, and I thank God that destiny crossed our path. Each time he's mentioned, I feel fulfilled in life. He demonstrated these tendencies for the love of democracy, even as a student. Sam, God will bless you. You see, where do we go from here is the question that we have been asking so many times. In your conversation with Sam, the missing link in all you have discussed, whether technicalities or the law, is that there is no political will to protect the integrity of our elections. Once there is the political will, all these issues that are raised will not exist.
All right.
So these tendencies.
We're totally out of time, Mr. Dalung. We need to go, but thank you so much.